G'day guys and welcome back to Joystick Arcade. I'm Whipper
I'm Mick Payne.
and today we're back at it with the PlayStation pickups. Good mix of some PS1, PS2 and a little bit of a cheeky PSP hidden in
Yeah,
there.
just a little cheeky one.
Let's kick off with you. What have you got?
All right, starting this week off with some bangers, because that's how we roll around here. Final Fantasy IX on the PS1. Now, I picked this one up not too long ago, and the quality of this case is absolutely gorgeous. I'm a big sucker for the jewel cases. They look sexy, in my opinion. Anyway, so I had a chance to check this one out, and I actually never played it back in the day, so it was something very new to me. And after just coming off the recent Final Fantasy VII Remake, it was quite a change in how the game played, but I was really enjoying it. It's kind of very, I can't remember the term for it, but it's set camera angles rather.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, like being this sort of like ragtag bunch of like pirates, I guess you could say, coming into the town to check out the concert or whatever that was going on. I didn't get too far in, but I did really enjoy the combat though. The combat was straight up my alley. It was fantastic. You ever checked out the OG Final Fantasies?
I'll admit no. Cue screaming from everybody watching this right now. But Final Fantasy IX was one I just never heard about.
Yeah, like honestly, by the time this came out, which was around 2000, it came out in 2000, 2001. I was pretty much already I was playing all the other classic PS1 games, By the time I even heard about this, PS2 had long been out, and I was pretty much into PC at that point.
Yeah.
But what else have you got for us?
Right, so if you're kicking off with one Squaresoft or Square Enix title, I'll come in with another Square Enix title, albeit I wouldn't say as strong as Final Fantasy, but Valkyrie Profile 2. Pick this one up. This was listed for $40 and the guy went and dropped the price to $20.
Oh,
Complete. I was
steal.
like, I will take that.
that's pretty good.
And it played very, very similar with the fixed camera angle. It felt a bit more side-scrollery.
Yeah?
It's got a long, long intro. So it took me forever to actually get into the gameplay. But however, I didn't hate the combat.
Yeah?
The combat felt like a sort of, it was kind of like a free-flowing combat. You could position yourself around the enemy while your party members distract the enemy.
Yeah.
You can get in some crits, it turns around, then you're pulling the aggro, and then they can sneak up on the enemy. It actually played like more of a modern RPG for back then for the PS2 era, so it actually wasn't bad for the combat.
Good, actually.
But I'm sure this has actually got a bit of a cult following.
Yeah.
So I'm sure once you get into the story and get real behind it, I'm sure it gets better. But it was slow to start, as with all of these.
I did hear the original Valkyrie Profile was quite good, as well as the remake on PSP, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth.
Yes.
Very critically acclaimed classic.
Yeah,
so
it is
definitely worth checking out.
particularly legendary. So
Yes.
if you're a Valkyrie Profile fan, keep your eye out for this one. It goes for a pretty decent price.
I'd say $20 a steal though.
Yeah, that's a steal.
Oh, speaking of steals, Parasite Eve 2 on the PlayStation 1. Now, I want to point out, you're probably looking at this and you think, yeah, this is like almost brand new looking. What's the go with that? Well, here's the go. When I first got this game, I got it for about $60 on Facebook Market, which is just stupidly cheap in itself. And there was a big, fat, ugly sticker in the corner. And me being me, I was like, mate, I can't have that. So I tried to remove it. Being an idiot, I used tea tree oil instead and ended up ruining the case. Like literally ruining the jewel case, acrylic. So I had to order a brand new PS1 case online, which took a while to ship, but this is literally like brand new PS1 jewel case. It's official, it's PAL region, it's gorgeous. But enough on my screw-ups with the case. This game is very similar to the Resident Evil series, which came out on the PS1. I feel like it was more like Squaresoft, as they were back then, their take on the Resident Evil series. And you play as, what's her name? It's Aya, I think. I think you play as Aya. Yeah, it's Aya. Yeah, Aya Bree, that's right. And you go into this building which looks like it's got some monsters taking over it, and You got to see what happened to the police force in there, and can get pretty spooky as well for those PS1 era. But it's all set camera angles as well, which is quite, I guess, difficult for me to work with, because I'm very used to, the camera following you as you walk around, like, in a typical, survival horror game. But with these classic ones back in the day, they were all set camera angles.
That was a rendering technique.
It was.
One that I believe Capcom actually
Yeah.
pioneered.
Yeah.
So with the Resident Evil series, so don't play the classic Resident Evils if you're not a fan of that fixed camera angle.
I'll wait for the remakes, personally.
Remake of Parasite Eve 2 when?
Yeah, make it happen, Square. Classic.
Do it.
I mean, Third Birthday was a bang on the PSP.
I'd love to see the original Parasite Eve actually get a release in the West.
Well, that's right. It actually did.
did?
It did I think, in America, but never got a PAL release. So
Why do I want American? I want Australian.
exactly, on a PAL 50 FPS release, as cringy as that sounds.
All right,
What
now
else you got?
if we're going from steel to steel, then we got to bring up some sword steel in this with Onimusha: Dawn of Dreams. This is pretty much hack and slash straight up, but it's actually fun. It throws you into the combat straight away. Didn't know what was going on with the story. Didn't actually care because within about 5 minutes, I was up against a gigantic hulking samurai, and I all of a sudden turned into a demon with a big ass sword, and I'm like, I am 100% okay with this.
That's pretty sick.
And I'm just whacking guys left, right, and center with the sword, cutting them up, carving him up, and I'm like, yep, this is fun. Hack and slash, and
Not bad.
2 disc.
2 disc.
2 disc. Sadly,
No manual.
F's in chat, boys.
No manual, guys. No manual.
But they're good Capcom title. So
Yeah, classic Capcom.
Capcom.
was knocking them out of the park back in the day.
I'd love to see a revival of Onimusha.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
gonna lie. Wouldn't mind
I actually
seeing
saw the second one at CEX the other day. Ooh. Yeah. Might pick it up. Anyway, moving on. Disgaea 2. Now, you saw us do Disgaea 2 Cursed Memories on the PS2 a few episodes ago. This is basically Dark Hero Days on the PSP. Pretty much exactly the same. It's just a port. So there isn't really much to say on it. It's your typical hilarity from Disgaea. Yeah, it's a great tactics game. And yeah, there isn't really much else to say.
Same combat.
Same combat.
Couple of new features.
Couple of new features, except it's on the PSP. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool nonetheless. So
Can't argue with portability.
Pretty sweet.
Now, y'all know I like my Kojima's works.
yes,
And there's one title he did, besides Metal Gear. Everyone talks about Metal Gear, but there's one title he did that got swept under the rug, and it's got a cult following. And it's got 2 games in the series. Zone of the Enders and Zone of the Enders The Second Runner. Basically Zone of the Enders 2. Now, it's very much like his usual storytelling method of not revealing everything straight away, making you think and throwing these crazy scenes at you. In the first game, you take the role of this young boy whose friends end up dying in front of him, and he ends up in this robot, basically getting the robot Shinji. And long story short, you've got to pilot this around a city that's being attacked.
pretty cool.
And then the second runner, you take the control of a different character.
Okay.
I think his name's Diego.
Right.
And you end up in the exact same ship from the first one.
Huh.
But the boy pilot, it's years later, and all of a sudden this boy pilot you piloted in the first game is
Yeah.
now in his own machine piloting as a fighter pilot.
That's pretty sick.
So some of the old characters all come back, and
Yeah.
it's just this crazy story all taking part in space, this big
Yeah.
space battle. If you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, it's pretty much very similar graphics, uses the same engine, and I believe it's actually in game with it.
That's pretty sweet. Demo for MGS2, guys. So, did you get the demo with that?
I believe it's loaded on the disc,
Up
actually.
on the disc. Oh, fantastic.
So, and it actually got a HD release on the PlayStation 3 and 360 as well, which came with a demo of Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, sweet.
So a little throwback to back then as well, but fantastic series. If you love your Kojima works, if you find one of these, pick them up.
All right, well, speaking of mechs, Xenosaga 2. Now, here's the thing. With this series, we only got Xenosaga 2 released in PAL territories. Xenosaga 1 and 3 were released in Japan and America, but the second one got a release everywhere else. So it's kind of like, what? Logic, like, yeah, right. But it is by the same guys who I believe have been in charge of the Xenoblade line. So it goes all the way back to Xenogears on the PS1. But you do take control of mechs in this game. You're a mech pilot, and you're sent down to Earth to fight off some nasties. And it's a lot of fun. I was quite enjoying it. Again, it was not so much fixed camera angles, but the camera angle in this was kind of more like in front of you, and you're sort of walking towards the camera rather, which was quite interesting. But awesome turn-based combat. The mechs felt beefy, the attacks felt beefy. I was loving it, honestly, and it felt like quite an interesting cinematic movie. And we'll show you guys here. There were a lot of goodies inside this box. You got bonus DVDs, an awesome cover that folds out, and you can see all the different discs and whatnot. It's beautiful, fantastic, and for about $50, you can't go wrong, and it's pretty much immaculate condition.
Right. If we're going to talk golden jewels of the collection,
Yeah.
this one, everyone sees this game dime a dozen, but this one's particularly special for me. Mm-hmm. This is V8 Supercars 3 on the PlayStation 2. You'll know it internationally as Toko Touring Cars 3. The reason this is special for me is, number one, it's the Steelbook, and it's signed by the then drivers of the 2006 championship. Now, this was a year after Peter Brock died, which was a sad event for all Australians. But for it to have all the signatures, and we'll see if we can get some shots up going of it, hopefully better, it's not shining as much. There's even signatures on the insert and under the disc as well.
That was beautiful.
This game can technically go for about $20. They're everywhere. But
Yeah.
this one was the most expensive just because of the signatures.
Yeah.
Nearly $100 just for this one.
That's insane, honestly. That is a collector's piece right
Yeah.
there.
Some of these drivers do not race anymore. Some have even died in crashes, separate crashes. So this is a particular jewel of mine. And being a V8 Supercars fan, I had to have it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, pretty solid haul this week.
Yeah, very solid. Now, are there any of these games that you have in this collection? Let us know in the comments
down
below,
below.
which was your favorite, or maybe you think there should have been a game that we should be looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know down below if there's anything you think we need to be picking up related to any of these that we may have missed. Also, stay tuned for next week because it's going to be all about Gran Turismo, which we're very excited to show you guys that. So, guys, stay tuned for the next one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Smack the notification bell. And we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye-bye.